For the last 60 years I've been a professional artist, working with oil colours, watercolours and having a wonderful life. I've painted all over the world, from not as far as Alaska, but I've been pretty well around the world painting pictures and watercolours. But one of the most important things I've found is working with the spirit. Because if I look back at artists over the generations, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and people of that ilk, they have always been spiritually inspired. And I'm very lucky that I work, hopefully, with the spirit world. And I've always been, had the ability to feel and sense the spiritual awareness around me. And I think all good artists, all artists with any ability, will always be inspired by the spirit world. And over the last 30 years, I've been very much aware of spiritual energies in my own work. And I've had the fortunate abilities to be able to work with the pictures of the spirit world and communication with the spiritual energies. And I feel as though this is possibly one of the most important things I have managed to do. Work with communication with the spirit, work with portraying the spirit as though you were doing a portrait, and giving communications to the loved ones who the spirit world want to communicate. This is possibly one of the most interesting things I've ever had the privilege to do. Working with the spirit, working with love, and working with harmony with the spirit world. Each of us has a dark side in us. Well, it's natural because we're human beings. Every human being has a good and dark side in them, and it's up to us to try and illuminate the better parts of us. If we work with the ideas of God being good, God being all-merciful, it's a wonderful thing. But unfortunately we're human beings and it is impossible for us to be godly all the time. For example, if we're riding along in our car and somebody cuts in front of us, we get our bad side. But if somebody waves to us and says thank you very much, we get our good side. If we work with a smile and humour, we bring out the best in people. If we work out being scowling or non-confrontational, then we bring out the bad side. If we can be positive and think of good things, it's much better for us, not only mentally but physically, to feel we are moving forward with our positive energy. And it is very important. We certainly do have inner guidance. If we have talent, if we have an ability to make films, to make art, to make music, to paint pictures like Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo, we have a guidance, we look forward. We have an inspiration. That is our inner guidance, and I think everybody would be well informed to work on the way they feel, to work on where they want to go. The guiding hand of your spiritual work is always behind you. Working forward, being positive, the inner guidance will always protect us. Sometimes if you walk in a room and you see people in a group, you will feel, I would like to go and talk to them. If you go into a room, very often you will feel as though people don't particularly want to talk to you. It's a guidance. It's like a sixth sense. Going forward with your innermost spiritual awareness, a sixth sense. It's always guided as well. An inner guidance will never let you down. Well, it has always been the belief of many generations that reincarnation does exist. There's many people who have actually written books about reincarnation. It is an important topic. Does it or doesn't it? We often have what we call a déjà vu, a moment in that we have been here before. We can't comprehend it, but we feel, oh yes, I have met that person before. I've seen this place before. I don't feel we can prove it, but on the other hand, I don't feel we can disprove it. It is always with an open mind we work with our spiritual abilities. But it is important to remember that a lot of religions, a lot of beliefs, a lot of people have definitely predicted reincarnation, and proof of reincarnation is what is needed. The most important thing with a relationship for a man and a woman, indeed with anyone, is love, trust and respect. This is the most important thing that any relationship has. But most of all, I feel relationships have to be flexible. It is important that people develop their own ideas and their own talents, and they combine them together. So the man has different things he likes to do, the woman has different things she likes to do. And in the evenings they can come and communicate and talk about the different people they've met, the places they've been and the things they have done. A relationship is a wonderful thing. It's one of the most beautiful things a man and a woman can have. And it is a wonderful thing to have a love and respect. But most of all, love, respect, and if you're very fortunate to have a partner that stays with you throughout your life, then you are very, very blessed indeed. And I commend anybody to have a relationship, mutual respect, love, and also a great deal of different things and interests in life, which makes the relationship healthy and perhaps wealthy. A lot of people have been to the ends of the earth to satisfy their desires of climbing Kilimanjaro or going up to the Alps and climbing Mont Blanc. It's important to fulfill our desires, but not at the expense of other people's happiness. I feel if you want to complete your desires, do it as a single or a free man rather than somebody that has a relationship. Desires can be a dangerous thing. You've got to move forward with respect of other people. If you want to be an artist and go around the world and paint pictures, that's all very well and good, but you have to consider other people's feelings if you have a relationship. The most important thing is complete your desires when you feel as though you are free to do so. I feel the year of 2012 was the most important year. According to the Mayan calendar, the world was going to end in 2012 at some particular date. But I feel that the Mayan calendar ran out of stone, and the reason it hasn't run out is the world hasn't ended is because the calendar was certainly not predicted. It was predicted that things would come to an end. Different things have happened in 2012. We have had disastrous weather. The world has flooded, the Gulf Stream has changed, the mountain has melted, lots of things have happened. But I think 2012 is an exciting year because it's the year of change. It's the year of moving forward. Tragedies have happened, things have moved. Why should the world will always go on? Changes have always happened. Just because the calendar said it was going to end, it's impossible to predict. In America, lots of people have prophesied the world was going to end 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Things have changed. We must move forward, and I feel as though 2012 is a year for young people to get on with their lives and make things better than my generation did. 2012 is a very, very positive year. All over the world now we have an intercontinental communication. We have the wonderful tools of the internet. Politics always will and always have ruled the world. In the Middle Ages we had God, the church and the king that ruled the world. Now we have the internet and the superpowers that rule the world. Politics always will. It's inevitable. Ethics, we should do what is right for us. We should do what we feel is right. Help people when we can. Be ethical. But politics certainly have always ruled the world, always will, and it's always very, very concerned with finances, Politics always have been bound up with finance. Ethics, we try and use things as well as we can. Use our heart to develop what we want to do and do good to people if you can. But politicians have always ruled the world and always will.